Hello guys, welcome to lesson 4 of our LiveWire course, and today my voice is not good and also my camera is not good, but nonetheless we'll keep on going. So in this course, lesson 4, we are going to look on how to pass data into the components, alright, LiveWire components. And so far we have a little bit of just editing and formatting. I've shown you how to create components, how to call components, or how to render inline and both the full page components. So far when I go to, actually we don't need this welcome page here because we are not using it anymore. So let me just go and see, rather we don't need that route. So if I go to the browser now and I say /create task like this will take us to this page where we have just a list of tasks. And of course, what I realize is that if I go now again to edit task, we have this just text here. So what I realize is that number one, if we go to create task, we need a form here, of course, to create the task and not this list. So I'm going to bootstrap and I'm going to copy a form here. So we'll go to, where is this? I want to go to the docs. And here I want to go to scroll down. I'll go to form. Let's check for overview here. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah, I think we can just use this first one here. So I'm going to copy this instead. I'm going inside my LiveWire here. I'm going inside the create. I'm going inside the create to do. And what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to paste this inside this div here, and then I'm going to cut this list here like this. I'm going to remove this checkbox like this. I'm going to rename this. Let's say maybe the to-do list will have maybe the name and the description. So I'm going to rename this to maybe name. All right. The input will be text, of course. Class from control ID will be name. We don't need this for now. And then let me see what else do we need here. All right, let me just remove this. The next one will be description. Label for description. This will be label for name. And then the ID will be description, like that. The type will be text, like that. And then the submit button, that is enough for now. And then I'm going to create now the component for listing, the to do. So I'm going to say PHP artisan LiveWire. We are going to say, what am I doing here? Should be make LiveWire, and I'm going to say this should be to do the folder dot create dash task, or rather it should be list tasks. All right, so that has been created. So I'm going inside my LiveWire. We have now a list guy here. I'm going to extend our guy here. Extends. Going to say welcome, like that. Say section. I'm going to call this to be content. So if you can remember, we are just extending the welcome page and we are using the content section. So I'm going inside list here now, paste the guy that I copy pasted here. I believe we had a class here and a class of column 8 like that. That should be good. And now also for our edit, I'm going to copy this guy because they will be pretty much similar. I'm going to edit guy. I'm going to paste this guy here, and that should do. Then I need to go now to the web. I need now to create the list task route, and this will go to list task like that. I'll remove this, and then I'll import this. All right. So now we have our create, edit, and list components. So now if I go, let's go to our browser now and see here. So I'll do a refresh here. So now we have the name and the description. If I go to edit task, again we have the name and the description, and if I go to list, is it tasks or what? Let me just confirm this first. It should be tasks, list tasks, not list task. All right. Now we have our list, and that is what I wanted. So the next thing that I'm going to do now, this is where I introduce you to passing data to components. And we are going to see this in detail as we progress. If you remember, I say that components can be called as inline components or as full page components, all right? So for example, if I want to pass data, let us use, for example, now I want to navigate from the list task to the edit task, all right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a very simple example here. So I'm going inside the list task and I'm going to, let us create a variable here. For example, let us call this maybe public task. This is just a variable here, and I'm going to use an array here, and this array I'm going to have the name, let's say maybe coding, and the description, let us say maybe PHP. All right, so this should be an array. So I'm passing an array of tasks inside this tasks variable here so that I can call it and display it on the listing task page. All right, we'll do this dynamically after adding this data to the database. So let me add two more like this. So let us say we have coding, we have working out, and here description maybe 20 push-ups, and here maybe we have cooking, maybe cake, something of that. So this is the list of the tasks that I'm going to do. I'm going to do this day. So when you declare a variable, on a Livewire class, this variable will be publicly available to the view side. All right. So when I go to the view side for this list task, I'm able to use this task as though it is already available here. All right. So when I go now to this page, I can simply do a for loop here using the normal blade, the normal blade for each. So I can say for each tasks, all right, as task, all right. Then I can end the for each here. I can say end for each like this, all right. And then here now I can pass, the normal Laravel stuff. I can just say task. I want to get the name, all right. Something of this sort. I believe this should work okay. So I don't need all these other guys now like this. And maybe let us say you want to add maybe a space here, like this. and maybe the task, I believe it is description like this. Let's go and confirm that description. Yeah. So now I'm looping through the task and displaying it. So if I've done that correctly, that should be okay. Let me just refresh this and see. So when I run this, when I refresh this, the error I'm getting, and that is because I believe this is stupid. I should have used an array. Instead I used an object call here like this. So this should be fine. That now I believe should work. Let's try this again and see. All right, now when I refresh the code, we have this list here: coding PHP, working out, 20 push-up, cooking, cake. So that is how you can be able to get data from from the class of a Livewire into the view of a Livewire. And something else I wanted to show you is that now, let us say, for example, I have a button here. We are going to edit this, so don't worry. I'm going to add a button here, for example. Let us use an href, right? An href, for example, now, and let us say this href will take maybe, let us say there's a route. I like using route names called edit task, and that edit task will expect maybe a task and will pass here maybe an ID. All right. So now if I go to web here, to a route here, I can just do something like this and say that this guy now here will expect maybe an ID. All right. And then now I can give it a name of, say, route, let's say edit task, like that. This should be named, not route. So if I go back here, so when someone clicks this, it will navigate to this route here and it will pass this data ID. So of course we need to add that data to our list task here. So for now I'm going to just to say ID for this guy is going to be 1. ID for the second guy here is going to be, says 2, and this third guy for now, let's say his ID is going to be 3, right? So if I go to who's guy, where is this guy? Web, we have the name edit task. If I go back here, we have the name edit task. That is okay. So let us do a refresh here again. Of course, I need to add maybe a label here to this and say maybe this should be edit, something of that sort, and then refresh this again. All right, so currently we have this stupid guy here, this wonderful UI. I love this UI, it's so fantastic. So when I hover here, as you can see, it will go here down. You can see it will go to edit 1. When I hover here, it go edit 2, edit 3. So let us try and click. Currently, of course, it goes here, but we don't have a way to capture this data. But you see, it navigates to edit task. So by that I'll be passing this data to to the second component, which is the edit task. So now when I go to this edit to do here, I can be able to get that that data that I'm passing through the route. Is, I can say, public, and there is a mount method which is used to receive data passed through components. All right, so anytime you pass data to a component, whether directly or through the route you can use this mount method. All right, so I can say here, for example, I can say now on our edit I can have a public ID value here. All right, and inside here I can say that this ID that I'm having in this class should be equal to an ID that will be coming from from another route. So I expect an ID here, right? And here I can simply say that my ID will be set to the ID that has been passed here. And of course, now when I go to edit to do here, for now I can just echo my ID here. I can just say, hey, I want to see this ID that has been passed. All right. So let me just recap so that you guys might be able to understand. So what I'm doing here is that in the list task, I'm looping through each task and I have an edit, route here, and I pass this data edit. And when I go to the web route, of course, I'm receiving this data as a binded parameter here on the route, and then I'm passing it to this edit to do. And on the edit to do, I'm receiving that data to the mount method. So the mount method will always is like a constructor, is the first method to run before the component has been rendered. And once I get that data, I assign it to this data, and then of course I display it here. So let us do a refresh here, and then you can be able to see what will happen here. So I'll go back to create to list task here, and then now I'll click edit, and when I click edit, it navigates here, and as you can see we have this value 1 here. So if I go back here and I click edit for this second guy here, you can see we have 2, which means that data is getting to the edit component here. If I click for the cooking cake, and now we have edit 3 here. So with that alone, we have been able to see how to pass data to the components. This lesson is a little bit longer, so I think I can end it there and then continue on the next lesson.